Hello, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So I have had my 2024 planner lineup set since July, but a monkey wrench got thrown into my plans in September. So now I have to pivot and adjust my lineup for 2024. You guys seem to like these kind of videos where I'm just sitting down talking through my thoughts. So I thought I would take you guys along as I try and figure out the new game plan for 2024. And in my planner in the back, like I usually reserve the last 4 pages for current year planner review, and then on the other page I will do my actual planner stack that I intend to do. But for right now, since it's still not all the way up in the air, but I'm still needing to figure things out, I just put it on these notepad sheets instead of writing it in my planner, but I'm still going to go over it with you. But first, what I wanted to do is show you how I keep track of my planner review, so I'm not rushing to do it at the end of the year and then I might forget stuff, or as planner releases come out, then I get FOMO and I forget it's actually a major feature of a planner that I really don't like, such as like the Hobonichi. I really don't like the quotes at the bottom. They have that a lot throughout that planner. I know in general, as popular as the Hobonichi is, and nothing against it, I just know it won't work for me. So that's why I've never been swayed to jump onto the Hobonichi bandwagon, because I know that planner is not going to be a good fit for me. And I know that because I keep track of what I like and what I don't like throughout the year with these spreads. And I did learn this year actually that having like a planner meeting with yourself is called a Techo Kaigi. So that's basically what I do throughout the year. But the Techo Kaigi is more like a meeting with yourself so that you can figure out your plan to plan. So I thought that was very interesting because I just naturally do that. But I do want to have like a more official Techo Kaigi at certain points throughout the year. So maybe in March, like after the first 3 months of a setup, that's typically enough time to be in your setup to figure out what is going to work and what is not going to work for a couple more months. So that's when we all start to make changes. I know at least I do. I start to make changes, and then especially if I'm in a discount, I make my own printables. So I go ahead and just switch things up right then and right there of what I don't like. So typically I don't really write anything down for the most part until like mid-year, like nothing major, not as much as this. Like I might write down 1 or 2 of what I liked, what I didn't like, and then but mostly come March I'm switching things up because I can, because I have the rest of the year to go that those changes will be worthwhile in me putting the effort in to do. And I'll probably do a mid-year Techo Kaigi and then end of year Techo Kaigi like I am doing right now. But just to go through these spreads, on this side I have I have it labeled 2023 planner review. On this side is what worked and then what didn't work. And then on this side I have my 2024 planner wish list, the things that I need and then the things that I want in my 2024 planners. So everything in black is what I wrote throughout January through July. I don't remember at a certain point, but like I said, typically towards the middle of the year is when I sit down and write the most, because at that point we're halfway through the year and I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about my lineup, and I'm not necessarily going to make any changes, especially if I'm in a discount. I'm not going to put in the effort to update any printables because I only have 6 months to go. And then in Q4, October through December, I'm usually busy and not that heavy into my planners anyway. So I don't think July through September those 3 months are going to be worth it to put in the effort to update my printables. But you know, that's not set in stone. I can always change my mind. But that's typically how it goes for me. So everything in blue is my thoughts and updates to these notes that I did in October. And so let me go through like high level of what I wrote in black so that you'll understand how I came up with my original 2024 planner lineup. And then I'll go over like the changes that I did in blue so that you can understand what changes like I'm going to make to that original 2024 planner lineup and what my thoughts are now on what I'm thinking is going to be my final 2024 lineup. So let's start with my planner review of what worked. So this year, no, so I should start in last year. It was the year of printables for me, figuring things out and using what I had to just kind of like get the layout that I wanted. So in 2022, I was in a half letter discbound planner, and I was creating a lot of printables, making a lot of like hand drawing, a lot of layouts so that I could figure out what I needed, which actually really worked for me, but it burned me out pretty quick because I had to draw everything for the most part. I was using daily printables in the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, I was drawing my own layout based on this, I think it's a Noti 1180, where it has like boxes at the top. Each box was a day of the month, and then at the bottom was dot grid. I think that's the Noti 1180, but don't quote me, but I know for sure that it was a Noti that I was inspired to do that the last couple of months in my planner in that layout. So if I could find it, I'll pop it up on the screen. But this year, since I was burned out on creating printables, I wanted a planner that was bound so that I wouldn't be tempted to create printables, because this year I actually had two goals. I had three goals, but two of my goals were very focused on launching things. And I think that was my word of the year, was launch. Let me see. I'm pretty sure that was my word of the year. Yeah, launch. So my top three goals were to create my drill down budget planner, which is represented by this drill going down. So this represented my drill down budget planner. I wanted to create and launch that. So my second goal was to launch my actual sticker shop, which is called Planner Function. The shop is still not open. I'm going to do these two together. I'm thinking Black Friday weekend. And then my third goal was to gain 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'll go over setting my goals, because again, I learned that this type of goal where you have no control over it is not a good goal to set. But nevertheless, this was a goal for this year. And if you want to help me get closer, you can hit that subscribe button. But anyways, back to this. So I wanted a bound planner so that I wouldn't be tempted to create printables when I got the itch, or if I didn't like something, it would force me to just work with what I had. And this is a Weekly Vertical Classic A5 size, undated, by Ara Estelle and Annie Plans. So this planner has served me well. It gave me plenty of room to figure out what I wanted. It didn't feel confining. It was a great planner for me. But it's not going to be a great planner for me in 2024. But for this year, it was absolutely great. I love this planner. I'm actually going to be using a different Ara Estelle and Annie Plans planner for 2024, but stay tuned for that. Again, a bound planner is not going to work for me for my catch-all. And then I did like a predated planner. And by predated, I meant was like this planner, how it's undated, but it has the structure already. Just me going in and dating like 3 months worth of spreads really allowed me to reduce my setup time and just go in and decorate as I had time. But like the essentials for me to start planning were already there, which was a big help for me this year. And again, it was mostly due to this planner being a bound planner. I knew that like I only needed so much time in order to set up before I could get into this planner. And then another thing that worked for me from this planner is the Tomoe River paper, and it's actually my first time trying it, and I thought it may be a problem because like it has ghosting. But once you like say you write on this side and then you turn the page, and this side, like you could really see all of the ghosting. This side is a pen test, but once you write on this side, you don't notice all of the ghosting. I don't know how that is witchery to me, but for such thin paper, it doesn't really let markers and stuff bleed through. So that's a good thing as well. So this planner really held up, and I really did like the Tomoe River paper. As someone that needs a lot of space and likes to have a lot of space to write down a lot of information, Tomoe River paper is really great for me because I can keep a lot of information with me, because I take my planners with me no matter what, like my 7x9 and this chunky A5 planner. I take them with me all the time, every day. So it has really met my needs as far as needing a lot of space, but yet I need to keep it kind of somewhat light because I'm taking it with me. The list for what didn't work is actually kind of long because I just wrote a lot, but it's not that many things. So for instance, the first thing that I wrote was the Hobonichi style of setup. And what I mean by that is when a planner has all of the monthly calendars together, all of the weekly layouts together, and then in the Hobonichi, it has the dailies. But this planner doesn't have dailies, it just has space for you to do your weeklies. But that just setup in a planner does not work for me because it's less than ideal for me to flip back and forth through the planner. And when I'm trying to set up my weekly layout, I'm finding that I'm having to like hold the pages like this, reference what's up here in my monthlies, and then write it and flip the pages and write it in my layout, when I'm used to discbound where I could just take out the pages, put them up here, and then I could just reference everything and then write it in my planner. That's way more convenient for me. And when I'm limited on time, that is the best setup for me, to just be able to take the pages out and then just reference them instead of flipping back and forth. So another thing that I wouldn't say didn't work, I wouldn't say that, it's just that I didn't need it, is a lot of notes pages. This planner doesn't have a lot, but it does have a good amount of note pages, at least for me. I think it has maybe 16 or so. I don't know, don't quote me, but I just know that I don't need a lot of note pages in a bound planner. Even in a discbound planner, like I like the ability to be able to take note pages in and out as I need them. Otherwise, a notebook works better for me because I could just jot down all of my thoughts in a notebook and not have to worry about running out of pages. So there's that. And then these two bullet points just say that basically drawing my weekly layout and monthly layouts just didn't work for me. So it was just too much work and I'm limited on time. And I need something that already has the structure of the planner already printed and ready to go. And then I prefer the weeklies to be dated as well, because I mean, I can date my weeklies, but I prefer them to be dated, as well as monthlies. Like if a planner has everything, then I don't mind dating the monthly layouts, like if it's an undated planner, but I need the weeklies to be pre-printed. So in this planner, the weeklies are just notes pages. You do with them as you want. And that was a little bit too much work for me in the end of it all. I'd rather have my weekly layouts pre-printed, just because I use so many planners. Most of them are reference planners, but for sure for my catch-all planner, I need the weekly layout to be pre-printed. And if I have to, I can date like weekly pages, just because I do, like I'm used to it from making printables, but I absolutely need the structure to be there. And then if I do have to date planners, then I'd rather only have to date 1 to 2 planners max. But again, I'm flexible on that. And then another thing is the number of books that I have. So I won't say planners, because in this one like book is 3 different notebooks and planners. So this is my A5 5-year Hobonichi, and then this is my weekly vertical from Ara Estelle and Annie Plans, and then back here is my Nanami 7C's Crossfield notebook in A5. So I do have 3 different journals and planners in here, but I consider this to be one book. And then I usually carry around my 7x9 discbound planner, which holds my budget planner for the most part. And I consider that to be my second book. So I cannot carry or keep up with more than 2 actual main planners, but I am finding value in having like a very small everyday carry as just like a notepad, a scratch pad for if I need to just, take some notes while on the phone, or if I have a thought and I just need to write it down in a messy way, then just a quick scratch pad has been actually working for me, because I don't like to mess up my notebook, because this is kind of like my creative notebook where I will write down my like quick thought on a sticky note or wherever, and then I will flesh out the idea in my notebook so that it's more organized and just cute, to keep it real. Like I don't want to mess up this notebook. So I am finding value in a small everyday carry kind of notebook style scratch pad type thing. So that is what I put for what I didn't like for my planner review. And then I'll go over what I said I was going to need in my 2024 planner originally. And then I'll go over what my lineup was. So what I said I needed based on these thoughts in 2024 was a disc-bound planner, but in a half letter size or A5 size, and just create printables for that. And then I was thinking to put that half letter disc-bound planner along with like my crossfield notebook in one traveler's notebook cover. So I was thinking to carry around just one of these and just have one book for 2024. For my weekly layouts, I didn't want to do the Hobonichi style of setup, but I do actually really enjoy the Hobonichi weeks setup, like the week on one page horizontal and then the memo page over here. But I like to have it like that whole setup on both sides of my page. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So I went ahead and set up this planner for the rest of the year. So here is where I have the horizontal week on one page, and then the memo page is right here. And then I duplicated that in another kind of like horizontal style right here, and then the memo page is right here. So I have that Hobonichi week style setup on both sides of my planner. So that really has been working for me, and that is what I'm thinking to create for next year for my weekly layout for my catch-all planner and my work planner. And then I was thinking to have like the different sections in my planner is I need a weekly spread for personal and work, and I put content schedule, and I don't need like a whole sheet dedicated to the content schedule. I just need like a column or a to-do list in my personal planner that is dedicated to the content schedule, so I can keep on track of YouTube and what I need to do there. So those are like the weekly spreads that I needed. And then I do need a separate meal planner where it has weekly spreads as well, and I prefer that one to be dated, or it could be pre-structured, like have all the lines printed and then I can date it, which I don't mind doing if I absolutely have to. If I find the right layout pre-printed, then I don't mind dating it. And then for my content, I just need a monthly calendar. So that's really easy to find. I can actually do that myself if I wanted to. And then for my work planner, I already said that I need my work and my personal together on one spread, because what I have found is that typically I'm in my work planner because, you know, I got to work. So I need a planner to keep me organized at work. It would be in the same disc-bound planner, but I will have my personal planner in like a different section. So all I would be looking at was work. I noticed that I would neglect my personal planner and I'd never look at it, and I'd miss appointments and all that kind of stuff. So then I had the idea to put them on the same weekly spread, but keep them separated so that I wouldn't mix up information, but it was all there to reference Monday through Friday. So I gotta open my planner in order to see everything that I need to do for work, and I will also see my personal schedule, which has been working wonderfully for me. But as far as my work planner, I do need a monthly calendar for my work planner. So I was thinking to have that separate because there's only one calendar. It's like a 2-page spread. Oh, I can't really get to it, but it's a 2-page spread calendar undated in this planner. And I can only dedicate it, if I don't want it to be all jumbled and mixed together, I can only dedicate the calendars to personal or work, and I chose to do personal. So I need a space to have a work calendar, and that's what I need as well. So, and then I need a space to make monthly meal lists, because I just usually write down all the meals that I would like to make for the month, and then I'll do a meal planner. So I needed a 2-page spread for that. And then again, I put that I wanted to carry 1 to 2 separate planners, meaning that this is one planner or like one book, and then my disc-bound would be my second book. Before, I just put that my major want is that I wanted my planners to be dated, but again, it's not a need. So based on all of that, my lineup originally for 2024 was going to be for my catch-all, which would include my personal and work on one weekly spread. And then I would use the monthly calendars for personal again, was going to be the Ara Estelle and Annie Plan's A5 Essentials Planner. And that one is just like a very toned down version of this planner. Because again, I said I don't need a lot of notes pages, and I only really need one weekly spread. This planner gives you enough space to do a more extended version of a weekly spread. So I don't need all that room. I just need 2 pages dedicated to a weekly, and that planner has that type of layout. So I thought that would be a better fit for me in 2024. And then I said I need a meal planner, and I was going to do this planner called, it was like by a brand called Luddite. I didn't see a lot of reviews on YouTube. I really only saw 2, and that was by Just Scribbles and Jen's Crafts and Journal. And that planner had the layout that I was looking for in a meal planner. So, and it was something different. So, and it was thin and still had like, I don't know if he uses Tama River paper, but it still seemed like it had thin paper. So I wanted to try that out. So I ordered it on Amazon in like mid-July, but it stayed in shipping status for 2 months. So came mid-September, I canceled that order. And I did that on Amazon Japan. So now I am out of a meal planner. So that's why my original lineup is not going to work, because I absolutely need a meal planner, and I had to cancel my order. But I did buy the rest of my original lineup for my work calendar. I bought one of these, and this is a campus diary free monthly planner, and this is undated. And what it has is, one, it has a perpetual calendar. And then it has 14 monthly spreads, undated, and it has a Monday start, because I know some people out there that are looking for a Monday start calendar. And then it has 17, am I right? Yes, 17 notes pages in the back, and and it's really cool because at the top and at the bottom line, it has little notches to help you split your pages into different sections, whether you want to do quarters or half the page. It's really good. And so I bought, originally my plan was to buy 2 of these so that I could try out putting my work calendar in here. And if it did work out, then I have another one to use for 2024. And then for my content calendar, I was going to use these Stylogy stickers that were in B6 size. And then I was thinking to just stick them on a notes page in the A5 Essentials planner. And then I could just have my content calendar in the back, because again, I only need monthly calendars, but I didn't want to have my content calendar in my discbound planner just because. So that was my original thought. But as I did more research into the Stylogy stickers, the spacing and the setup of them wasn't going to be big enough for what I wanted to do. So I scratched the idea on the Stylogy sticker, and I ended up ordering 3 of these campus diary free planners. And what I have been doing is I went ahead and tested my work calendar in here, because it has 14 months and I started this in July. I am doing 6 months of work calendar and then 6 months of content calendar in here to see if that would be enough space, one, for me to do like my work calendar in here and my content calendar in here, and then testing out the notes page for my content calendar to see if like, do I really only need like a little bit of pages for my content calendar. And if I needed more space, I do have my 7 C's notebook that I could spread out into. So I was thinking like one of these would work. So that's why I bought 3. So one to test out work and content schedule in one before 2024. If it worked, I would use the 2 additional ones that I bought like this. One would be dedicated towards my work calendar, and the other one would be dedicated towards my content calendar. So that was my lineup. But since the Luddite planner had to be canceled, I am now out of a meal planner, and I still have everything from my original lineup, except my A5 Essentials planner from Aura Estelle and Annie Plans was a pre-sale, so I'm still waiting for that one to come, but I'm not worried about it coming. So I forgot when they actually said that they'll start shipping, but it's not a problem. So I'm still pending that one, but I know it's going to come. And then I have 2 of these for 2024, but now I am out of a meal planner. So it's like, what am I going to do? But now that I'm having to rethink things because I need a meal planner still, let me go over what I recently updated to my thoughts and what now do I need for my 2024 planner lineup and what I'm thinking to do. So I'm not going to go into like super detail of every single like reread all of this, but I'll tell you what I changed. So again, for the bound planner, I don't need that going into 2024 because I actually needed this bound planner because I do plan on making printables for 2024 since I'm going to open my shop. Like, I need to be able to test my own things, and I am itching to get back into being more creative and having a disc bound planner that I could just switch things up as I want to, because this planner did serve its purpose in keeping me focused so that I could launch my drill down budget planner and planner function in my shop. So that served its purpose. So I no longer need my catch-all to be in a bound planner. But I do like bound planners for reference notebooks or planners. So like a meal planner, I wouldn't mind my meal planner being in a bound notebook because I don't need to take pages in and out of a meal planner. It is what it is. As long as I have a monthly calendar and a dated, preferably weekly spread to do my meal plan for the week, and then I would just transfer it over to my catch-all in like a little to-do list so that I know at a glance what the plan is for the week for meals. So that is what I mean by, like, I don't really need a bound planner, but I do still like them and would like to keep them in my lineup because, one, I still got to use these Traveler's Notebook covers that I've been buying from Paper Bound Creations. I got some on the way. I can't wait till they get here. So I still do need to have A5 planners to put in here, or at least a half letter disc bound. And then something that I recently wrote is, since now I know that this meeting with yourself to plan how you're going to plan is called a Techo Kaigi. I want to actually do one of those, like officially schedule them with myself so that I could do one in March, maybe like July sometime, and the end of the year, so that I could really like sit down and be intentional about taking notes. Like, even though I do it, I just want to be a little bit more intentional about sitting down and actually really dedicating some time to thinking about my plan to plan. So that's what I put right here. And then I always do these spreads, but I do want to just make sure that I create a printable in order to put it in the back of whatever planner. Right here, a note that I made on creating my own layouts is that once I fall behind in creating my own layouts, like with this planner, it's completely blank, so you have to draw your own weekly layouts. Like, you do whatever you want to, so that's good and bad, because when I'm running behind, it's hard for me to catch up. But if I have time, then this is just a planner's dream. So, well, my dream, to just do what I want. So that was one note that I made, that probably a weekly planner, I needed to be pre-structured because it's just way too hard for me to catch up once I fall behind. And then some new things that I wrote down is that I want to go back to my catch-all being a disc bound planner, but I want this Traveler's Notebook book. I want this book, everything I have in here, to be a reference planner. So, or I think what it's called in the community is like a planner companion. So everything in here will just be information that I take out and then put on my weekly spread in my disc bound planner. So I'm just like, I am planning detailed in these planners, but I'm just taking the bits of information that I need at that moment for that week, for that month, and I'm transferring it into the disc bound planner so that at any moment the disc bound planner has all of the information I need in order to get things done at that moment. And so that is a note that I made that I really would prefer to stick to or change it up to going back once I go back to having just two main planners or like books. And then I put that a analog journal does not work for me. And what I mean by that is I'm finally giving up on my 5-year Hobonichi. I have not been consistent in this thing at all, and it started in 2022. So I only have next year to go, and I highly doubt that I'm going to be consistent with it. So I'm giving up on this planner, and I am going to go to a digital journal, because what had happened was one of my kids got a hold of my phone, and I was doing a trial of an app called Day One Journal. and I don't know how, but all of a sudden I get a notification talking about I have purchased something for dang near $40. And I'm like, what the heck I didn't purchase nothing. I look up and my baby got my phone, and Dana somehow got to the screen to purchase what I was only doing as a child. They purchased the app for the year. So it was actually a blessing in disguise, because that app has a lot of ways for me to make entries. Like I can email entries to the app and it'll create the entry based on my email. It does the same thing with text. It does the same thing like in the app. I can do voice memos and create an entry. I can use my iPad and write out an entry in the app. If it's something that I need to do or a habit that I'm trying to build, I'm learning that it's best for me to have like a digital portion of it, so that I can set reminders that will alert me and actually make noise and say like, hey, you need to do this. So that really works for me versus a physical planner. So that just completely just took the 5-year Hobonichi out of the game for me. But I am going to repurpose this planner, because it, other than the dates, here goes the page. Other than the dates right here and the quote right here, it's really just an open space. And yes, this is set up into 5 different horizontal sections, but I can easily ignore that. But what I want to do with this planner and not let it go to waste is I want to change this into a topical Bible study. So like if I'm studying joy, then I'm thinking to do 5 scriptures that I found and just elaborate on those 5 scriptures that happen to pertain to joy. And then right here I can like doodle or write thoughts or whatever. This will also be good for the SOAP method, because it is already pre-sectioned into 5 different sections. You could just probably take a larger section for maybe application or prayer, and you can do that right here. So I'm thinking that as well, but for the most part I just want it to be something of joy that I can go and reference whenever I want to, and just take my time with, and not really feel rushed to complete it because it is dated. So that's what I'm thinking would be a good use for this planner for me. And then so that one's going to leave my lineup. And then right here, I put that a bound planner, again, wasn't going to work for me for the reasons that I said earlier. And then over here, getting into the 2024 planner wish list that I recently updated, instead of having a half letter disc bound, I am going to go back to a 7x9 disc bound and create my own planner inserts. And then I do want to stick with an A5 bound planner, which is going to be that A5 Essentials planner by Ara Estelle and Annie Plans. And then for needs, it's still everything here is still applicable, but what I added was the digital journal, which we already went over with the day 1 journal. And then I still want to keep my notebook, which is the 7 C's crossfield. And I still want to keep a budget planner in my lineup, which will be my own drill down budget planner. And I'll link that up in the cards if you're not familiar with it. And then something new that I'm going to add is a production calendar, because now that I'm making planners, I need to be able to have some type of calendar or schedule to stick to make sure that I'm creating things on time and sending them to my manufacturer in order to be created in time to get them out to you guys. So for dated, I moved it from a want to a need, kind of, because for dated, I'm saying that my weeklies, I really need those to be dated so that it's not hard for me to catch up whenever I fall behind in planning in my planners. And then one update that I made to my wish list is my want is still for my planners to be dated, but I would like my monthly planners to be dated as well. So I would like an entire dated planner if I can. Otherwise, a pre-structured planner where it has all of the setup already done and printed on the planner, and all I got to do is date it. So an undated planner will probably work for me as well. So that is like the new thoughts and like updates to where I am now in trying to figure out my 2024 planner lineup. So just to recap, the planners that I need and want in my lineup is a budget planner, a catch-all planner, a work planner, a content calendar, a notebook, a meal planner, a digital journal, a production calendar, and an everyday carry. which a small little scratch pad that I went over earlier. So with all of that said, what I'm thinking now currently for my 2024 planner lineup is, I wrote it down on these little notepads, but I'll finalize it in these pages once I figure out what I want to do. But let's go through it. Let me organize this just a little bit. Like I said, I only want to have 2 actual books. So the items that are not going to be in my 2 actual books, which is going to be any A5 planners that I have, or notebooks, journals, whatever, in a traveler's notebook cover, and then a 7x9 disc bound. Anything that's not in those 2 are just going to be these 2 separate things. My digital journal, which we already went over, is going to be the Day One Journal app. That's going to be in my 2024 planner lineup so that I can journal. Like, I really have no excuse with that app to not journal and stay consistent. I'm not saying that I'm trying to do it every single day, but I should be able to make a couple of entries a week. That should not be a problem. And then for my everyday carry, I just want something small, like really like a memo pad. And I already have that because I ordered it this year. It's these little things, and it came in a 6-pack, different colors, and I have been using them and they have been working for me a lot. So I want to keep that in my lineup for 2024 as an everyday carry. Usually what I'll do is I'll slide that notebook into a pocket that goes right here. But in this traveler's notebook cover from Paperbound Creations, it didn't come with a actual pocket like my other cover did that I got from her, but that's not a problem because what I'm thinking to do is I have these little clear pockets that you find in back to school section at Target. I am going to pop one of those right here so that I can have a pocket and just slide that notebook into. So that's what I'm thinking right now in order to get that, like, keep that memo pad from sliding all around in my backpack. So that's going to be still the same going into 2024. And then let's do the disc bound planner. So in my 7x9 disc bound planner, I am going to have a budget section, which is going to be my drill down budget planner. So that's not going to change. And then let me put it up here. And then the main question mark for my 2024 planner lineup right now is, what am I going to do for my personal catch-all and my work planner? So those are going to be for sure in my disc bound 7x9 planner because I plan on creating printables, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to create them before the year is over, for one, because I'm going to be busy with the launch and just the holidays and everything like that. So I might end up drawing out the first couple of months until I have time to create the printables myself, but they are going to be based on what I'm doing right now, which is the layout that I showed you guys earlier. Oh, that's not it. Which is based on the Hobonichi Weeks style, week on one page, but I'm going to do week on one page and memo page on both sides of the sheet. So it's going to be like 2 planners in one, basically. So that is what I'm going to have mainly in my disc bound 7x9 planner. And then that's going to be like one of the 2 books that I carry around. And then in my second book is going to be this book. And what I'm going to keep in here is, oh, here it goes. What I'm going to keep in here is for one, the 5-year Hobonichi is going to go. And I am going to keep my A5 7Cs, and this isn't the cover of it. I have like this little piece of printer paper stuck down to the cover with some washi tape from Simply Gilded. So this isn't the actual cover. It's just like more of a burgundy cover, but I'm not about to take this off to show you guys. So anyways, I'm keeping my A5 7Cs Crossfield notebook by Nanami Paper in here. So that's staying in my lineup. And then I mentioned that I have bought 3 of these. One of them I am trying out right now, and since it is working, the other 2 that I bought, I'm gonna have one for my production calendar and then one for my content calendar. So, and I need those 2 to be separate because usually when I'm doing calendars, I only want to see like one specific thing. If I'm working on my plan, like my personal life, I only want to see like my plans for my personal life. And remember that I am going to move all of the information down into like weekly spreads or into my catch-all planner, because that's kind of like the purpose of my catch-all planner, is to gather all of the information from separate parts of my lineup and put it into one view so that it stays top of mind all week or whenever I look at it. So the production calendar and then the content calendar is going to be the other two campus diary notebooks that I bought. And then of the planners that I bought from my previous 2024 planner lineup, that just leaves the A5 Essentials Planner by Ara Estelle and Annie Plans. And that's what I'm going to repurpose as my meal planner, because again, that one is going to be dated and it's going to have monthly calendars and it's not going to have a lot of note pages and all that. It will be perfect for my meal planner. So that is what I'm thinking for my 2024 planner lineup. So again, the only question mark in my lineup right now is, am I going to get to creating my own printables for my catch-all and work planner? But I have a backup plan to just go ahead and draw everything out ahead of time. So just in case I don't make it to being able to make those printables, I'm not behind already once 2024 starts, because I can go ahead and pull out the layouts that I drew to get me started until I have time to make the printables. So that is my thoughts of revamping my 2024 planner lineup from July, because I already had it set in stone, but some things happen and you got to make some changes and just go with the flow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this long chatty walkthrough, and if you did, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.